A massive fire erupted on the Mozdok-Kazimagomed gas pipeline in Dagestan's Kiziyut district Tuesday after an explosion caused by a pressure drop. Footage showed firefighters battling the blaze, which spread across dry grass in a 20 square kilometer area. Authorities confirmed the pipeline was shut down between kilometers 718 and 661 with no casualties reported. 59 firefighters and 16 units of equipment were deployed, while residents from nearby settlements, including Baftugai, Nizhny, Chiyot, and Gerbak, were evacuated as a precaution. The situation remains under the direct supervision of Acting Republic Head Fyodor Shukin as officials assess the damage and monitor scattered fires. The streets of Belfast erupted in flames Tuesday after the arrest of a Sudanese refugee linked to a stabbing that left a man seriously injured. Vehicles and buses were reportedly torched, barricades set alight, and mass protesters targeting properties owned by minority ethnic groups. Riot police moved in as demonstrations against migration spread across the city. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the attack as sickening after social media footage appeared to show an attempted beheading. Police confirmed the suspect has been charged with attempted murder, stressing there is no evidence of terrorism. The unrest comes amid heightened tensions over asylum and migration in the UK following recent violence outside migration hotels. Iran's Sports Minister Omar Atani has criticized the reported denial of visas for 15 officials and team staff ahead of the 2026 World Cup, calling the move unprofessional. Speaking in Tehran on Tuesday, Atani insisted the issue will be resolved and warned that Iran's team would halt matches if offensive flags or slogans appear during the tournament. He demanded top-tier hosting conditions, stressing that the United States must ensure fair treatment. Despite obstacles, Atani said the Iranian squad remains highly motivated. The team has set up headquarters in Tijuana, Mexico, after visa restrictions prevented them from staying in the U.S. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum confirmed she had no problem hosting the team. The World Cup kicks off June 11, jointly hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Outrage has erupted in Mogadishu after Somalia's top referee Omar Atani was denied entry to the United States ahead of the FIFA World Cup. Atani, Africa's Referee of the Year, was turned away at Miami International Airport by U.S. border officials, excluding him from the tournament roster. Fans and players in Somalia expressed anger, holding up his photographs during matches and calling the decision unfair. The barring has drawn international condemnation, with England legend Ian Wright saying it tarnishes the World Cup spirit of global inclusion. Atani, now back in Istanbul, said he remains positive and wishes his colleagues success. The U.S. State Department cited vetting concerns, while President Donald Trump's remarks about Somalia have fueled further controversy. The incident adds to visa disputes already affecting Iran's team ahead of the 2026 World Cup, jointly hosted by the US, Canada, and Mexico. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un personally bid farewell to Chinese President Xi Jinping at Pyongyang International Airport Tuesday, concluding Xi's two-day state visit. Hundreds of people were seen lining the streets with flags and flowers as the motorcade passed, before Kim and his wife Ri Seo-ju waved Xi and First Lady Peng Liyuan onto their plane. The Korean Central News Agency hailed the visit as proof of the invincibility of DPRK China friendship. During talks, the two leaders pledged deeper cooperation and more high-level exchanges. Xi's trip follows recent summits in Beijing with US President Donald Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin, and comes just weeks before the 65th anniversary of the China-DPRK Treaty of Friendship. Pro-Palestinian and anti-war activists rallied outside Downing Street Tuesday, demanding an end to Israel's military operations in Iran, Lebanon, and Gaza. Demonstrators also urged U.S. President Donald Trump to halt weapons supplies to Tel Aviv. Footage showed crowds waving flags and placards, including one depicting Trump under the slogan, "Now the tail wags the dog." Former Liberal leader Jeremy Corbyn said Trump could easily stop the arms flow, but chooses not to. Stop the War coalition members accused Israel of breaking ceasefires and displacing over 1 million people in Lebanon. The protest comes amid fresh escalations between Israel and Iran, marking the most serious breach of the truce since April. Trump has said he will urge Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to respond to Iranian missile attacks, though Netanyahu insists his fight with Hezbollah and Iran continues. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has stressed the urgent need for vaccine and treatment research to tackle Uganda's Ebola outbreak. Speaking in Kampala on Monday, Tedros said 3 vaccine candidates and several drugs are under study, praising Uganda's institutions for joining the effort. He commended the government's swift response after Bundibugyo virus disease was confirmed, noting early detection helped contain the spread. The outbreak, declared May 15, has been named a public health emergency of international concern. The DRC has reported more than 900 suspected cases and around 220 suspected deaths. Uganda has closed its border with the DRC, allowing only humanitarian and response teams under strict screening. A group of 171 Malawians arrived in Blantyre Tuesday after fleeing xenophobic attacks in South Africa. Footage showed evacuees collecting luggage, undergoing health checks, and receiving meals. Malawi's Chief Secretary Justin Saidi urged citizens to remain home, calling the situation in South Africa not good. He confirmed more buses will be sent to assist repatriation. One evacuee described fleeing after locals began burning foreigners' houses during night raids. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned xenophobia and unveiled no measures to curb illegal migration. More than 3,000 Malawians are expected to be evacuated by June 30, while Ghana, Nigeria and Zimbabwe have also arranged repatriations. Bulgarian Defense Minister Dimitar Stoyanov has warned that the war in Ukraine cannot be resolved on the battlefield, urging renewed focus on negotiations. Speaking in Sofia recently, Stoyanov described the conflict as a war of attrition, saying continued fighting only leads to more loss of life. He called for a just peace determined by both parties at the negotiating table. The minister acknowledged the EU's role but questioned its ability to mediate given its support for Kyiv. He also ruled out sending more weapons, insisting Ukraine needs manpower rather than equipment. His comments came as President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met with European leaders in London to discuss ongoing military support and regional security. Russia's envoy to the United Nations, Vasily Nebenzya, has dismissed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's open letter to Vladimir Putin as a publicity stunt. Speaking at the Security Council Monday, Nebenzya accused Kiev of megaphone diplomacy and said the message was a provocation, not a peace initiative. Putin's aide, Yuri Ushakov, described the letter as several pages of rudeness, while Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Ukraine does not want negotiations. Zelenskyy has repeatedly called for a face-to-face meeting but refuses to withdraw troops from Donbass. The exchange came as Ukrainian drone attacks targeted St. Petersburg during Russia's economic forum. Nebenzya also accused the West of ignoring Ukrainian strikes on civilians, claiming foreign governments continue to back Kyiv despite corruption and profiteering.